Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Nanyacim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all, and I want to say a very big thank you to everyone of you for always coming back to watch my videos and subscribing. You all are the very best. So today there is a video that I am gonna roll, but then before we roll the video, I am going to say that there is need for oppression to stop. Because this video you are about to watch right now, the truth that is that this video was done a long time ago, but nothing has actually changed. They still think the same, and there is need for them to accept that something like this is going on. Because I feel like before you end something, there is need for you to know that this thing I am doing it, and there is need for these things to stop, and let's look for a way to make this stop so we all can do better, right? I don't want to bore you. Let's roll the clips. Stay glued to your screen. Do not go anywhere. Let's get into it.
Watch this interview that was done 65 years ago, and I'll be right back.
We will not be coerced into hiring any colored person, regardless of his qualifications, as a matter of duress or as a matter of expedience.
When the Negro can prove to the white man that he can live like the white man, then we will accept them.
And the only thing that scares me is the neighborhood all getting bad. And if we ever wanted to sell, naturally your house depreciation is the colors get in.
If they move in, the next step we have to accept is intermarriage.
We can be sociable with them in work. We can get along with them and joke with them.
Sure.
But when we leave our job and close the door and we're on our way home, we want them to go in their direction and we can go in ours.
That was only 65 years ago. And to be honest, there are still some white folks talking like that today. Today. Like black people, indigenous people, people of color are saying all the time on this app, oppression hasn't stopped. And people that thought like that raise kids to think the same way they do. Oppression hasn't stopped. It needs to, but it hasn't. The only way that oppression can stop is to learn, understand what happened, and be better and do better. Remember, diversity equal power. We can change the world. Oh, and raise your children to do better. Okay. Remember that diversity equal power. We can change the world when we work together and protect black women. Until next time. Share, like, comment, share, repost, all that good stuff.
You saw that, right? And the truth is that nothing really changed. This was 65 years ago, and it is still happening to this very moment. Should I start explaining? Anyways, there is something I want you all to listen to before we get into the next video. So here we go.
The descendants of colonizers are getting mad for being called the colonizer, while descendants of slaves are still being treated like slaves. They say things like, I wasn't there, you can't blame me for the sins of my ancestors, I had nothing to do with slavery. White people want to dissociate from all the cruelty of their ancestors, apart from the part where they rip off the benefits of systemic racism standards set by their ancestors. They are still upholding the laws their ancestors lived by, still hiding the stolen gold and history of Africa, while slave descendants are still locked up behind prison doors, others getting shot aimlessly on the street. Slavery never ended. The name just got changed into capitalism. Then you tell the Negro to forgive and forget, yet no apologies are being made. So forgive what? All systems of oppression are still up and running. So no, the colonizer is not sorry. They're just uncomfortable because they'd rather we shut up.
They are actually very uncomfortable, but they are gonna shut up real soon. Now, let's get into the video of today. So here we go.
Very empowering to share all that I have in this series and all that I will. However, it is very taxing mentally, and there's a lot of emotional labor that is put into these videos. My father did warn me about the heartbreak that may accompany uncovering all of the hidden truths, and this particular episode will help you to see why. Come on, get ready with me while we talk about some Black history. Today we're going to talk about Ernest Green, Elizabeth Eckford, Jefferson Thomas, Terrence Roberts, Carlotta Walls Lanier, Minnie Jean Brown, Gloria Ray Carl Mark, Thelma Mothershed, and Melba Bills. And these individuals I named are the Little Rock Nine. The U.S. Supreme Court issued a monumental ruling in the case Brown versus the Board of Education in 1954. This decision declared that schools being segregated was unconstitutional and called for the desegregation of all schools throughout the entire nation. After this decision, the NAACP attempted to register black students in all-white schools throughout different cities in the South. And in Little Rock, Arkansas, the school board decided to comply with the court's ruling. The superintendent of schools submitted a plan for the gradual integration of black students, and in 1955 it was unanimously approved. 2 years later, in 1957, the NAACP successfully registered the 9 students that I mentioned earlier in the video, and the school they were registered to was the all-white Little Rock Central High. Now, these students were vetted by the NAACP. They deemed that they had the exact characteristics of strength and determination to be able to handle any of the mental anguish that may accompany them being enrolled into an all-white school. The first day of class, Little Rock 9 entered into the all-white Central High with the protection of the National State Guard. This was September 4th, 1957, and you have to understand that initially that protection order was for the white students, the white faculty, the white staff, the white community, angry white community, I may add, that were in opposition of school integration. It was President Eisenhower who interceded and said, no, we need to be protecting the black students and their supporters. This story cannot be told in 3 minutes, so come on back for part 2. Even with all of this physical protection, they could not be defended from the disrespect. They could not be defended from the aggression, the angriness, all of the verbal assaults and attacks. One of the students said that she searched in the crowd for a friendly face, and she found one, and it was an older white woman. She smiled at the white woman, and that white woman spit in her face. They were called every single name in the book. A lot of angry white spectators had to be restrained. While there were no reports of the direct aggression and racism once they got inside the school on the first day, that proved to be short-lived. Throughout the year, they experienced routine harassment. Melba was kicked and beaten and even had acid thrown in her face. At one point, white students burned a black mannequin doll across the street from the school in a vacant lot. Gloria Ray was pushed down a flight of stairs, and the Little Rock Nine was barred from participating in any of the school's extracurricular activities. Kenny Jean was expelled that same school year for retaliating against the attacks, and the harassment went above the students. Gloria's mother lost her job with the state of Arkansas because she refused to remove her daughter from that school. May 1958, Ernest Green was the only one from the Little Rock Nine to actually still be enrolled at Central High, and he went on to graduate, making him the first black student to graduate from that high school. After Central High was integrated, the governor closed all of Little Rock's high schools, including that one, for the entire year because he wanted to prevent black students from being in attendance. And this brought about a public vote among the Little Rock residents. And 19,000 votes to the 7,500 kept the schools from being integrated, and therefore they did not reopen. Melba went on to graduate from San Francisco State University with a bachelor's in journalism. Carlotta graduated from the University of Northern Colorado and also the president of the Little Rock Nine Foundation. Elizabeth served in the U.S. Army as a military journalist as well as a social studies teacher. Ernest served on the board for the NAACP. Gloria was editor-in-chief of Computers in Industry. Jefferson served in the U.S. Army as well. Minnie Jean and Terrence both graduated from Southern Illinois University, and Thelma worked at a juvenile detention center. These black men and women were courageous through sacrifice. They were smart, resilient, and showed great levels of perseverance. They are staples in the integration of education and, of course, in Black history. Be blessed.
I absolutely enjoyed watching this, especially the last parts. She did a great job. And why not let me know what you all think in the comment section. Thank you all so much for your support, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.